Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Desi Ariyani from class 6F. This video made to fulfill the final exam of Sociolinguistic. I hope this video is useful for all of you who see this video. So in this video, I want to tell about code mixing. First, before we enter in the topic, I will give you a little explanation about code mixing. So what is the code mixing? Code mixing is the use of language unit from one language to another to expand language style or variety of language, including the use of word, phrase, clause, idiom, and greeting. Code mixing is a speech event carried out by two or more people is intended to achieve certain goal among others. To describe the relationship between the speaker and the speech responder. Thus, the function of code mixing still has a close relationship with communication. Communication can be said to be effective if someone who receives the message can receive the message well, so that the recipient of the message can follow up on what was sent by the communicator without a hitch. Code mixing is also caused by several factors, so that some people mix several languages into one sentence. That factor that is, first, is talking about a certain topic. People sometimes prefer to talk about a certain topic in one language over another. Sometimes a speaker feels free and more comfortable to express his or her emotional feeling in a language other than their vernacular. And the second is quoting other people. A speaker changed the code to quote praise or famous praise from some famous figure who mostly come from several English-speaking countries. Then, since many Indonesians today are good at English, this famous expression or saying can be quoted in their entirety in their native language. And the third is confirm something. As usual, when someone who uses a language that is not their native language suddenly wants to be assertive about something, they will either intentionally or unintentionally switch from their native language, both to the first because he felt more comfortable being assertive of the first language than of the second. And the next is repetition is used for clarification. When a bilingual or multilingual person wants to study his speech for better understanding, he can sometimes use both language or code that he is fluent in to convey the same message. Often, it serves not only to explain what was said, but also to reinforce or emphasize the message. And the last is to exclude other when a comment is intended for that audience only. Sometimes other people communicate only to certain people or communities to which they belong, in order to avoid community or other disturbance objecting to their communication. They may try to exclude those people by using language that not everyone knows. Okay, well, some experts also divide code mixing into several parts. The first is insertion of element in the form of word, and the second is insertion of element in the form of phrase, and the third, insertion of element in the form of buzzer, and the next is insertion of element in the form of repetition of word. And the fifth, insertion of element in the form of expression or idiom, and the last is insertion of element in the form of clause. Next, I will give you some example of code mixing in our daily life. For example, is code mixing using Instagram caption in some public figure or in celebgram. The first example is in the first picture. This is the example of Instagram caption used by Raisa. The caption is, dan akhirnya ditemanin papa dan mama foto di depan kampus Stanford GSB. Mungkin selama ini hanya mendengar celotehanku lewat telepon tentang hangatnya matahari California. Serunya jalan-jalan sekitar kampus dan betapa berwarnanya hidupku sebagai mahasiswa di sini. Now they get to see it for themselves. In the last sentence, it can be seen that Raisa used two languages in one sentence. This caption is included in an example of a clause type code mixing. The clause in this caption is contained, now they get to see it for themselves, which previously used Indonesian. The second picture is the Instagram caption is also an example of code mixing that belongs to the type of clause. What is included in the clause is the sentence, "Happy 8 from 90,000 miles away." This is said to be a type of clause because after the use of the sentence, it appears that there is a use of Indonesia, that is, mohon maaf lahir dan batin. The last example is Raisa Instagram caption which gara-gara ngobrol sama mama pas sahur tadi, jadi pengen liburan lagi sama keluarga. So we made a list of places to go after all of this and mistaking scan photo like this one. This caption is also a type of code mixing category clause. This is because after using the regional language or Indonesia, Raisa here used a foreign language or English, which is a type of clause found in the sentence. So we made a list of places to go after all of this, mistaking scanning photo like this one, which previously had the use of Indonesia. Well, I think that's all for my explanation about code mixing and the example of code mixing. So I hope this video give a new knowledge about code mixing for all of you. Okay, I think that's all. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.